I got an interesting cam repair today. Hang loose and we'll get into it. So this is a Pontiac Solid Roller, and the shop that's working on it, they normally buy cams from us, but we did not have a core to make a new one because it's a Solid Roller Pontiac. It's just odd a little bit. So the cam that was in the car, I thought they said a lifter turned loose, and maybe it did, but it appears that something worse than a lifter got a hold of this thing. But the cam looks good visually, other than just this lobe right here's got some damage, and I didn't really pay it any attention till I put it in the grinder, and I noticed it had a little bow to it. But if you look, this thing's got 68 thousandths. It's bent, and I mean you can actually see it. I mean right here it's bent, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to repair this thing, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it my best shot. But you know, maybe the lifter, it don't look, maybe the lifter broke and fell and got wedged in between the cam and the lifter bore or something. I don't know what happened, or if I kicked a rod out. I don't know what happened, but man, that's probably the worst one I've seen that, you know, ain't just a total loss and broke it, or that's crazy. So I'm gonna go out here and set it up in the press and some V-blocks and see if we can get it back close. And then if I can get it back close, then we'll get on it with the peening hammer and just see if we can bring it in. But like I say, I don't know. We're gonna try. Just maybe not. But I know they got a big race coming up, and nobody's got a core that we could find. And they called around, and nobody had a core. So we got plenty of hydraulic roller cores, but we don't have any big solids like this. And it's just, you know, Pontiacs, Buicks, that kind of stuff. It's just a little odd. It's not super popular, so the inventory is always low, it seems like. So we're gonna do our best to salvage it. But stay with us, and we're gonna get out there to the press and get it set up. All right, I got a little pressure on it. We're gonna see. No, we ain't neither. We got to get up under that a little better. There we go. Let me run in here and check it between centers right quick. So that's 10 thousandths better. So it's gonna take a pretty good bit of movement to get us there. Oh, that's a lot. Check it one more time. So that got it down to 10, but I don't know if you can see that. They done boogered up the center. I don't know if they had to, I don't know if they put a puller on it or what they done, but they got the center, they got metal actually rolled in so I can feel it when I'm rolling it. So I got to get this center fixed before I can go any further. But I mean, obviously the center's messed up, but I got it down from 70 thousandths down to 10 thousandths. So once we get this center and I can really see what's going on, because it's kind of lumpy the way that center is. So I'm gonna go clean that up, and then I'm gonna check it one more time, and then I'll be back, and I'll show you what the run out is. All right, so I went and put it in the lathe, and I got the center fixed. So let's see, that's the low spot. So that's exactly 11 thousandths. And it's in a new place a little bit. So let me get my existing marks off. And we will put a new one on it, and we will go work on that last little bit. And then obviously once we get this satisfied, then we're gonna have to check all the journals and just see where they're at, because with a hit like that, it's gonna be more than one place. I'm sure we're gonna have to work on every journal. Yep, that's us. Back out we go. All right, let me run check it again. Nah, that didn't hardly move it. And it's rough because, you know, this thing's hard. And so even though it's got a soft core, the surface hardening, it's like trying to bend chrome moly. It wants to come back. Let's check it again. All right, that got us down to 6 thousandths, but it moved a little bit more, so now we like here. So I really need like a fork to get down in between these two lobes. So I'm gonna go in here and do some digging around, see what I can find. This is definitely not my ideal thing, and it probably is not the safest in the world, but as you well know, I'm not known for my safety practices. I don't think that's gonna work out too good. That's probably gonna come out there and kill 12 people. Let's go see what that says. I did that one too good. I went all the way right past where I needed to be. But that's all right though. Get over there. it ain't got much to go, and it's hard to judge it. Man, we right there in that 5 to 6 thousandths window, and it just kind of keeps moving around on me. A little closer. All right, so unfortunately the brand spanking new GoPro 12 overheated and took a dump on that last couple of pressings, but I think I pressed it like, I don't know, 3 or 4 more times. So right now we have exactly maybe 1 thousandths and 2 tenths run out. I am super impressed with myself. That's really amazing. I never thought I'd get it that close. Look at there. That's just a little less than 2. Man, we gonna mess around and save this thing. Oh yeah. Yep, so let me get my air hammer out and I'm fixing to go to town. I'm gonna bring you back here just a little bit so you can see the whack-a-mole. Yeah, as bad as that was, I never thought we'd get all them journals that close, and that's really surprising. Luckily, the trauma was just all concentrated right there in that one little spot. If it'd have been more than that, it'd have probably been hard to work out, but that wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was gonna be. All right, let's get some of this stuff out of the way. So we're gonna work on the center journal and get that center journal as close to 0 as we possibly can. All right, so there's our low spot. I mean, that might be a 1/2 thousandths maybe. So then we'll come back up here to the trauma journal. And we got to get out of the oil hole. All right, right there is a low spot. Man, that ain't hardly nothing, but that's about a 1/2 thousandths. We'll come down here to number 3, and it's about 1. And that barely wiggles. So we're gonna come up here and check the very front journal. Ain't really a whole lot we can do about it. You know, I mean, it should be good if everything else is good, but it's got a long neck sticking out there, and yeah, it's a little wonky. And that could be, it could have took some trauma in that center, possibly, from whatever happened, because it feels like, you know, looking at the end, it's a little bit junky. if there's nothing we can do about that. Let me check the actual nose. Yeah, that nose has got some run out. So that's probably coming out of the center, where the center ain't nice. We could probably go end up having to actually totally recut that center. Let me check the back. Yeah, see, the back ain't got no run out in the center, but that front center, it's not happy. But you can tell by them stripes, it's real heavy on this one side. So it probably, and I'm just guessing, but it probably sheared that keyway, because I noticed I stuck a key in there and the key wasn't tight. So it probably sheared that keyway when all this trauma happened. And like I say, I mean, it done something to the center, because it's just not happy. Man, and they just ain't a whole lot to do there, really. Yeah, see, all the way out here at the very end of the center is good. So that's telling me the center itself is good. But when you get on the journal, yeah, we 4 thousandths, it's got 4 thousandths run out. And I just don't, man, I don't think there's nothing we're gonna really do about that, I don't think. But I'm gonna try. So that's the low spot. So that's 3. Man. Yeah, we're in the same place. So yeah, that's 3. I don't think we're gonna get no better than that. It was back up to a couple, but it's down to half, so that one's still good. Yeah, that's horrible right there. But man, I just ain't a whole lot I can do about it. It's possible I can turn this journal 10 under, and they can put a 10 under cam bearing in the first hole. Yeah, that's about all we can do, really. All right, so I went and worked on just the neck and the press another 7, 8, 10 times, and I got it down to 1,000ths. So I'm gonna cut, well, I gotta check all the rest of these again before I get ahead of myself. Yeah, that one's back to pieces. Let me check this front one again. I mean, that's like 1.5. Man, I tell you, boy, this thing here make you have gray hair. That's just barely over 1. All right, so, whoo, man, that was a lot of work right there, buddy. All right, so what I got to do now is I got to go pick some lobes that's gonna match these or get close as we possibly can, and yeah, that's really good. And then we'll get this thing set up, and then I'll grind a couple of lobes and show you that. All right, so we got the masters loaded. I had some stuff that was within a degree of what the original cam was. So I've dead wheeled it, and I'll show you. So basically the spindle's off, and then we're just tracking that lobe from the master to make sure that our advance or retard is, you know, we're centered on that lobe. And I mean, I don't think you can get much better than that. I mean, it's just rubbing it everywhere, but just on the base circle. So obviously I'm sure this section of the cam is still, you know, not perfectly straight. Even though we got the journal straight, you know, this section is going to be out of whack. So luckily this is where the damage is. This is the #1 intake lobe, so we're going to start here. This is the next intake lobe. So it was the best looking one, so I just swept in on it. So we'll grind this one and get it to clean up, and then once we get this one to clean up, we'll set our stop, and then we'll be able to grind the rest of them. And you know, the rest of the way down the line won't be no problem. This is the only one that's going to be an issue. So I'll get fired up here and get the wheel fine dressed, and then I'll let you see me do a couple of lobes here, just, you know, for reference. It's got a little dent in it up there at the top, and it's got some kind of a little bit of shrapnel sticking out. So yeah, it has, that lobe is kind of pushed over some because it tracked perfect on this lobe. So it's gonna probably, then like I say, that's why we're going, you know, rough in that first lobe, the bad lobe first, and that way we can get it back in time. Because obviously it's off center a little bit from just all that crap being bent so bad. and I'm gonna keep up with how much we take off of it, but I still don't think it's gonna take a whole lot. So we got the full base circle and the whole nose. We just got this one side to go, which still, I mean, I still ain't really took much. But we're gonna measure it, but it ain't much. Oh yeah, here it comes. There's just a little bit on the side, yeah, just a little bitty peck right there. I'm gonna see if I can get that too. I mean, it ain't in the lifter track, but I think we're gonna call that right there. All right, let's see what that says. All right, that is 4 and 29, 1 4 29, I think. Yep. So that's 1 inch 429 thousandths. And the original is 1 4 42. So 29 to 13 thousandths. I mean, that ain't nothing. That's amazing. I am amazed that we cleaned that up that easy. Wow. Let's do one more, see how it looks. 45. Luckily, Pontiac's 45 degree bank angles. LS is 45 degree. Big block forward, FE forward's 45 degrees. So it's nice. You can just use the same index plate. And, you know, the firing order is different, but it's still 45 degree moves, so that makes it nice. Yeah, you can see this one. It's a little bit like, can you see it? Let me move you over here, dead in front of it. So it's already, I mean, I ain't nowhere near, and see, it's already cleaned up all the way around pretty much, except for just a few little spots there. So obviously it actually, you know, that section was pushed over where this trauma happened, and we're probably going to see a little bit of it in this exhaust lobe more than likely. But again, you know, we only taken 13 thousandths, so it's not even enough to bother nothing in the grand scheme of things. And like I say, it's going to be back to the same exact duration and lift within a degree. So yeah, we could have cleaned that lobe up with half as much material as we had to do on that first one. But like I say, It just is what it is. But again, we didn't take enough to amount to anything. So hopefully that was, yeah, that was educational, because I didn't even think that we would be able to fix it. It was junk already. So I'm like, you know, all we can do is try. And it was really bad. But I've seen some other ones that bad, and we just threw them away because I didn't think that, you know. And again, if it was some generic something, it wouldn't even be worth doing all that anyway. But because this core is unavailable and it's kind of rare, it was worth spending an hour, hour and a half, whatever it took me to get that thing straight. So that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the grind out. We're gonna get this thing in a box and get it shipped back to the customer so they can make their race. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.